space enthusiasts and professionals gathered here. I welcome you all to the world's biggest digital space conference, that is Global Space Summit, this year organized by SDNx and Helium Learning Labs. My name is Pallavi and I'm an intern at SDNx and Helium Learning Labs and your host for the session. I'm pretty sure we are all diverse in a lot of aspects, but there is one thing we all have in common, and that is our enthusiasm for space, which has brought us here together on this platform. This year's theme, the role of space education and research in emerging nations, was adopted to put a spotlight on the space activities in the emerging nations and to empower them further. We expect that throughout this summit, the students and young professionals can get guidance with their education and career. SDNx Foundation was established in the year. Or do I have to start again?
No. It's okay.
Okay. SDNx Foundation was established in the year 2013 with the purpose of making space accessible to everyone through its initiatives and educational projects. Helium Learning Labs, who are our organizing partner, are an edtech company that aims to establish a world-class space digital school to fill the gap between space education and space industry, to train students for the future space workforce. Our speaker for the session, Mr. Kingsley Ahenkora-Duodu, is a lecturer at Leeds Beckett University and a PhD researcher in physics and astronomy at the University of Leeds, UK. He was selected as one of the top 10 under 30 professionals in the African space industry, class of 2019 as judged by the Space in Africa. Mr. Kingsley was the lead and event manager for the first hybrid space generation workshop held in Ghana. He currently serves as the national point of contact for Ghana at the SDAC in support of the United Nations program on space applications. He is a trained telescope operator and was selected as a science commissioning team member of the African Very Long Baseline Interferometry Network, also known as the VLBI network for the Square Kilometer Array project, which has the largest single radio telescope in Africa, that is Ghana Radio Astronomy Observatory. He obtained his Master of Philosophy from the School of Nuclear and Allied Science of University of Ghana and his Bachelor of Science degree from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Mr. Kingsley has participated in several conferences and workshops, including the African Leadership Congress on Space Science and Technology for Sustainable Development organized by the African Union Commission. Mr. Kingsley is optimistic about the African space industry, and his passion and drive for STEAM motivated him to be involved in several outreach programs involving students, researchers, and industrial players in the field. And without further ado, I'd like to hand over the session to Mr. Kingsley to take us with his work journey.
Alright, thank you so much, Pallavi. Just give me a minute to share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Just a quick check. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Alright, brilliant. Alright, so thank you so much to the Space Development Nexus and the Helium Learning Lab for such a great opportunity and giving me the single honor to be here and be part of the Global Space Summit 2021. And yes, of course, and indeed, it is the world's largest virtual space summit. And a big thank you to all joining us virtually. My talk will be quite simple, but very interesting one, hopefully. The name once again is Kingsley Ahenkora-Duodu. I will touch on the introduction, which I will talk a little bit about Ghana, and I will take you through my journey in space science and astronomy, and also space in Ghana in general, the ongoing activities of space science that is going on in Ghana, and I will be more than happy to take some questions from you, and you will see if I have answers for them. So just some general information about Ghana. So this is Ghana, and our capital town is the Greater Accra, that is Accra. So Ghana, we do share boundaries with Burkina Faso and Ivory Coast and Togo. Of course, at the very south, we have the Atlantic Ocean with the Gulf of Guinea. It's funny enough, Sorry, funny enough, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and then Togo, they all have French as their lingua franca, and our official language is English. So it is not surprising that we have such a great bond with Nigeria. The name is Ghana. The area we cover 238,500 square kilometers. Our population as of 2020 was approximately 30 million. Our currency is the cedi. Our major language, we have the English as our official language. We have other languages that we speak as the P, Hausa, Ga, and the others according to the ethnic groups that you find yourself. Our major religion is Christianity, which has the maximum percentage. We have the traditionalists, and we have our brothers who are the Islam. One of the major exports of Ghana is gold, and it is not surprising that we used to call Ghana the Gold Coast. We also do export cocoa, oil, timber, bauxite, aluminium, manganese ore, and diamond, and a lot more. In terms of security, I would say Ghana is generally stable. We've had successful election. That is quite interesting. Of course, the more you train out of people, the more you face the issue of unemployment. So it's not surprising that we have very huge unemployment, and most of the youth are still looking for a job, probably including myself. We have our infrastructure challenges in terms of our road network, in terms of our housing deficits, our health systems. We have challenges with electricity, water, and some of the basic amenities. But all in all, Ghana is very peaceful, very accommodating, and we look forward to welcoming everyone who wants to come and visit Ghana. Indeed, Ghana is well known in the world. One thing that was the Year of Return, which was organized by the Ministry of Tourism. And the whole idea was to bring the people who are descendants of Africa in the diaspora to come and visit Ghana and enjoy the rich culture. This is our Independence Square. This is where we do have most of our national and international events openly. Ghana currently is hosting the headquarters of the African Continental Free Trade Area with its beautiful edifice that you can see over here. Mostly if we talk of Ghana, a lot of people start looking at this direction. Some people even show more West scenario cases. But although we do accept that we have this and some slums and some challenges, this is also Ghana. And this is the Great Accra region. This is not London, this is Ghana. So please do visit Ghana, and indeed you will have a great time. Now, right from Ghana, I will just touch a little bit about myself. And as I said, my name is Kingsley Ahenkora-Duodu. I'm a PhD researcher. I'm studying physics and astronomy at the University of Leeds in the UK. I work as a maths lecturer at Leeds University. I was selected as a member of the science commissioning team towards the square kilometer array that hosts the African Very Long Baseline Interferometric Network. And it was a collaboration which the Ghana Space Science and Technical Institute was part of it. So I was actually working hand in hand with the Ghana Space Science and Technical Institute as well as the SDNx Africa at that time, now called SARO. I'm a trained telescope operator, and of course, I still do operate the largest single radio telescope in Ghana, which is 32-meter dish. If you've not tried the jump and snap, please do try. It's quite impressive and very enjoyable. I have my Master of Philosophy at the School of Nuclear and Allied Sciences, the University of Ghana, and I did my Bachelor in Science at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I developed great interest in space science and astronomy right after my first degree. I had a lot of questions. I was so passionate and so curious. I had questions about the universe. I have questions about are we alone in this universe? I have questions about creation. I have a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions. So immediately I heard about the 20 kilometer array project, which is a global project. I became much more interested to find out more. As part of the SDA projects, we have the development in Africa with radio astronomy, and that handles the human capital development aspect of the whole project. And the main aim is to bring together a new generation of African radio astronomers. And I'm proud to say I was one of the very first batch to be trained in this particular project. Currently, we have a lot of people who have joined the team. In order to network, get the skills and then the knowledge, and have good friends that I do call them family, and have a small influence in the field of space science and astronomy, there is a need to attend conferences and workshops. And these are some of the few workshops that I've attended. This one was during my first year in my PhD. It was in Queen's University. That was in Belfast. And this one was another interesting one that this was during my second year at St. Andrews in Scotland. And this one was on simulation and modeling. I think the focus was on Monte Carlo. And this one was in the United States of America. We were able to handle data and process data from a very long array telescope. This one was in South Africa for the safety workshop for the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. And of course, you can see my boss over here, Professor James Chibozi, who has been my mentor and advisor throughout my journey, and that is me over here. You can also see me over here, and you can see me over here too. And this was one of the best workshops that I actually enjoyed. It was in Ethiopia, and it was the International School for Young Astronomers. This one was around 2017. That was when I developed extreme interest, and I was working with the Ghana Space Science as well as the SDA Africa. And of course, being part of the DARAC, with development in Africa with radio astronomy, we do have our annual networking seminar that we meet and we do present. So these help to prepare us to the future, creating the enabling environment and networking, which is one good thing. After all this, I was privileged and acknowledged and also recognized to be one of the top 10 under 30 professionals in the space industry in Africa, which you can see me over here together with my colleagues. This was such a privilege and an honor to be selected and awarded. Talking about conferences and seminars, I led as the event manager to organize one of the biggest events happening in Africa. That was the 4th African Space Generational Workshop. Together with my team, we were able to get huge sponsorships, we were able to get partners, and we collaborated with a lot. And we came up with one of the splendid hybrid events. We had the African Union joining us on site. We were privileged to get the renowned speakers all over the world to be part of this particular event. Prior to the event, we organized the Space Generation Advisory Council, DARA Big Data. It was a hackathon competition, and we had it for 3 days long. The whole idea was currently we are all looking at big data. How do we handle this data? We need the requisite skills and the knowledge to analyze, process, and make good, meaningful of some of these data. So as part of this workshop, we decided to introduce this workshop for our delegates to take part and learn some of these skills. And we awarded them with a trip to Ghana to enjoy this event. We collaborated with the Dara Big Data, who was the major sponsorship, and you can see some of our collaborators also over here. It was not only a workshop, it also created opportunities for some of our students. We were able to collaborate with the International Space University, and they offered 6 scholarships for our delegates. We had 3 we hope that we will have this yearly collaboration with them. We were also
privilege to have Susan and her team from the Mars Moon Astronautics Academic and Research Science in the United States of America also coming in, providing 12 full scholarship and unlimited partial funding for our delegate to also partake in their events. And we are extremely happy that our delegates are really enjoying this particular um, fund and they are making good use of it. Right from the fourth African Space Generational Workshop, I was also recognized and acknowledged for the Member of the Month, together with my deputy event manager. And we also, I mean, these awards and recognition do help us to always push more for the continent. Of course, I've been involved in other activities. And by now, you know that I'm the national point of contact for Ghana at the Space Generation Advisory Council in support of the United Nations Program on Space Application. If you come to the UK over here, we have the National Union of Ghanaian Students Association, and I serve as the Media and Communication Secretary. We also do organize webinar like this, and this one was one of our webinars on post-COVID job markets. I've been involved in several outreaches. We do encourage, we mentor, and we motivate most of the youth, not only in Ghana, but in Africa mostly, to get themselves involved in space science and astronomy events. Currently, I'm working with a group of space enthusiasts, brilliant, and they are volunteering to assist to organize the first ever student satellite design and build event in Ghana, which is the Ghana Kansas Rocketry Championship. In collaboration, we want to select the finest brains to represent Ghana for the World Kansas Rocketry Championship. One of the webinars that I did enjoy was the careers in the African space industry, together with my colleagues, and I was a speaker there. And recently, I was also honored to be part of the team to give a speech during the African Europe Space Earth Observation High Level Panel, which was in Lisbon, and others joined virtually. Yeah, so there are a lot of opportunities in space science. One good thing about space science is that it just doesn't limit only for the science. You can decide to go into the space law. We will need administrators, we will need a scientist, we will need robotics, we will need the engineers, we will need almost everyone can come in the field of space science. But one field that I do love so much is the big data. And of course, for the current advancement in technology, we need a lot of people to have the skills to handle, manipulate this data, and make meaningful of this data. Currently, initially we had our phones with the maximum storage capacity of 1 MB, but now we are looking at 1 TB, and we will go on and on and on. So you can imagine, I mean, some companies like Facebook. So I mean, they are handling huge data. So we need Africans, especially the youth, to get themselves involved, have the requisite knowledge in machine learning, artificial intelligence, which is the current thing ongoing. So over here, that is me, my supervisor over here, Professor Marvin Hall. I call him my father, and some of my colleagues who we are involved in this. You can also join us as a scientist. Of course, that is what we do to research in the space science project in Africa. Or you can also assist as a lecturer to impart knowledge to students. That is something that I also do too. I'm currently in my final year PhD at the University of Leeds, and as part of my research, I'm working on an object which is called the DR21 Ultra Compact H2 region. So this is an object in the interstellar, in the sky. So just assume that at every point on Earth we have our longitude and latitude. The sky has also been mapped in such a way that at every point in the sky we have what we call the right ascension and then the declination. So this could be a patch in the sky, and we observe these objects using at different wavelengths. Okay, so as scientists, we want to look at the skies as astronomers. So this object is a massive star forming region. What it means is that there is a massive star here, which are stars that are 8 times greater than that of our sun. These stars, at their early formation stages, we can't see them with our eyes or optical telescope. However, these stars do emit copious amounts of ultraviolet radiation that is capable of ionizing the abundant hydrogen medium in the sky. That makes it possible for us to study the ionized gas emission using ground-based radio telescopes over here. It also heats up the dust particles, and we can also study the dust emission using ground-based submillimeter telescope and also space telescope. So I've observed this particular object using these means. Our interest is to study. We study the density medium, which is the density distribution. We do study the internal velocity structure. We study the temperature. We study the gas motions. We do all these studies. And once we are quite convinced with these studies, we couple it with our physics principles, mathematics, and complex computing. Then we do simulate some of these objects in the sky. The good thing about simulation is that you can simulate the object as it is now. You can simulate as it was in the near future, in the past, and also you can also infer in the near future. And that is something that we do over here. So I coupled hydrodynamics with photoionization models to simulate these objects, and I do a lot of modeling using radioactive transfer models. I will not bore you so much with what I do, but if you are so much interested in ionized hydrogen regions, which is ultra compact, that is very small, you can get in touch and we can discuss quite detailed into it. It's quite interesting. Now let's go back to Ghana and let's see what is happening in Ghana. I've captured this slide as space in Ghana. And one good aspect is about the human capital development and research. So we will touch on the space education and then the research currently ongoing in Ghana. So we have the Ghana Space Science and Technological Institute, and that is the national agency that supersees all space activities in Ghana currently. And some of the activities that they do in terms of their research is that they do crop monitoring, they do weather and climate research, and of course, space weather studies. They do a lot, but these are the few that I've taken note of. Also, at the University of Ghana, they do the global monitoring and environment and security, which is the GMET. And of course, they do climate research as well. For KNUST, they do offer aerospace engineering over there. They also offer meteorology and climate science program from BSc to MPhil to the PhD level. So if you are interested in going towards that direction, that is where you should be looking at. All Nations University College has been playing a very key role in terms of Ghana space science. And indeed, they were the first to design and launch a satellite in Ghana, which we call the Ghana Sat-1. They were the first to design deplorable educative satellites, which they can start something that we want to now let the students do themselves. They were also the first to design a university amateur ground station satellite that they use for educational purposes. We also have the University of Energy and Natural Resources, and they are currently working on the GeoNetcast ground receiving station, which has been built at their site. They are working in conjunction with the Ministry of Forestry and other stakeholders that they are working together. We also have the AIMS Ghana, and we have the client. They also do research in climate change and atmospheric physics. That's the space weather. We also recently have the Academic City College that they recently started a BECE program on robotic engineering. All these are opportunities that we hope the youth to get themselves involved, get the requisite knowledge, and let's impart all this knowledge into the economy of Ghana. Still on space education and then research, some major activities ongoing is the science research with the Ghana Radio Astronomy Observatory. And of course, we were given the green light and it has been inaugurated by the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We were able to have our first epoch of metanoid mazes, and these metanoid mazes are just traces of star formation, and it's one of the big things that actually happened. We're able to also study the dust in nearby major remnant radio galaxies. And whilst I was in Ghana 2 years ago, we were able to also observe pulses, which were some of the transit objects in the atmosphere. So if you point your telescope in the sky, there are a lot of things happening. And one of such good things is you may find something that we don't know, and we need to go there and research and know more about it. And that is the whole good thing about research. Current ongoing is what you call the development in Africa with radio astronomy. They couple with the Newton Fund, and they have a training program. They have the basic training program that they prepare students for postgraduate studies. There will be a call at 23rd July. So anyone who is interested, you can contact me, and I'll give you advice and direction as to how you can be part of the team. After the basic training, they also offer scholarships, which I'm a beneficiary, which have the DARA, which is the Development in Africa with Astronomy, and we have the DARA Big Data, which is another good thing coming on board. They have funds for postgraduate studies. There is also another funds from the SKA bursaries that we can also make good use of. It's targeted for the partner countries as well. So unfortunately, the other countries which are not part, but Ghana is part of the partner countries, and that's the good thing. I'm also involved with this PRASAC, which we do outreach in schools. And the Ghana Planetarium Science, they are also playing very key role. They do organize seminars and series of schools and then public events, focus on the space science and then astronomy. Sarah and I've forgotten Dr. The in charge, they've been actually playing a very key role in this. They actually started most of the events in space science and astronomy in Ghana. And of course, this beautiful picture was taken at the Gunhili Earth Station. I do love satellite. I do love ground-based satellites. So always, I do have nice pictures. Still on space in Ghana, we will touch on Ghana space activities and its coordination challenges that we're going through. We have some major and big companies in Ghana who are doing great. One of them is the Airbus and other big companies. They are doing great in Ghana. Unfortunately, with our institutions, they are doing a lot, but there is no proper coordination. So you will intend note that they are all using the same raw data, but they are using it for different purposes. And as you may be aware of, high resolution satellite data is quite expensive. So if the Forestry Commission is working on something, and the Road and Transport Ministry, the Land Commission, the Agricultural Ministry, the Defense Ministry, the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, which are all commissions in Ghana, and they are all going to buy these data sets, they have to spend time to get their scientists to analyze this data and use the practical application to help cure some of the basic challenges that we are facing in terms of monitoring, in terms of security, in terms of, like a lot of things that they do in terms of community planning and others. So if there is proper coordination, we just need one data set, then we can all do the job. And that is something that we are looking for. And without we not doing that, that led us to the waste of public funds, which is one of our challenges. And one of the major challenges I've been facing in Ghana currently is illegal mining activities, which is actually destroying most of our water bodies. And of course, we can use the idea and the skills of space science to help cure some of these challenges. And that is something that we look for in the near future. We know that we have challenges in Ghana. That is the main reason that we need a space policy and law to guide and regulate all the space activities in Ghana. I'm extremely happy that our space policy is ready to be submitted for cabinet approval. And of course, you can see Dr. Nanama Brown Kluche. She is actually leading the team. She's been doing very good in most of these fields. You can see me over here together with Young African. This one was during the African Leadership Conference in Nigeria. And the whole goal of this space policy is to explore and take advantage of capabilities of space science and technology for national technological advancement for sustainable development through education, cutting edge research, and commercialization. It's also part of the national development agenda of the coordinated programs for social and economic policies and the STI policy, which started way back in 2017. Currently, we have the African Space Agency. That is a big thing currently coming on board, with the African Union Commission is playing very key role. Ghana actually, I mean, we sent our bid at the very late hour to host the headquarters. Unfortunately, we did not make it, and Egypt was selected. And we look forward to also partake in all the ways that we can. And I'm sure we already have the people who are handling this aspect very well. And with this space policy in place, we're able to promote a well coordinated and monitor most of the space science activities and technological programs that is ongoing. And in a way, we will also use the space law and then policy to promote local and international cooperation for the peaceful uses of outer space. Now, how then do we implement this space policy? So this plan is prepared by the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, and the primary vehicle for the implementation of the policy is anchored on key strategies for managing, sustaining, and financing the space science technologies in Ghana. Of course, it's a big thing bringing the space policy on board. We then have to establish the Ghana Space Agency, which will have the autonomous and their independence and their funds to run. Currently, the Ghana Space Science and Technological Institute is an institute under the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission. The Ghana Atomic Energy Commission have several institutes. And of course, so if the budget for Ghana Space, for Ghana Atomic Energy Commission is quite big, and the Ghana Space Science has to now go to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission to get some funds to do most of the activities in terms of employment too. Of course, if they are giving some number of people to employ, the Atomic Energy Commission, which they have a school, they have a hospital, it's a whole community on its own. Obviously, they'll be giving them some few number of people to employ. So once we establish that space agency to have the autonomous power to do their own employment, and once you have autonomous, you need the funds to do most of these research and have all the coordination that you need. And there will be the need to establish the Space Science and Technological Development Funds. And these are the happenings in Ghana currently. If you want to get in touch, you have any questions, you want to collaborate, you want to partner, you have, anything that you want to bring on board, please, you can email me, Kingsley Ahenkora-Duodu at spacegeneration.org. And you can also link up on all the social media platforms. I use the same name, just Google Kingsley Ahenkora-Duodu, and I will be more than happy to host you. Right before we go, and to thank you too, I just want to ask just 1 minute from the moderator, Pallavi Lakra. If you come to Ghana for any conference, these are some of the things that you should be expecting. Please do enjoy this music. Of course, you have said everything. Thank you so much for your audience, and I look forward to engaging you in your questions and answers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kingsley. That was a very warm presentation, and thank you for welcoming me to Ghana. I feel like I'm already there and I'm welcomed there.
You really have to come to Ghana.
Yeah, and also like I had a lot of questions planned, but I felt like your presentation was up to the point. It answered all of my questions. But still, I'll try to I'll try to come up with questions still. So the next phase of this session is we'll be going into the interview session that will be like 20 minutes long. Okay, so you talked about a lot of projects and the Ghana Observatory as well. So I'd like to ask you like when was the point in your life where you realized that you have to be a PhD researcher in like physics and astronomy?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, but let me first say that it was the interest to know more. And once you have the interest and you have the passion and the curiosity, it will push you to gain more knowledge in the field. So I started with my background, and I did my Master of Philosophy in nuclear field. And of course, I love to know more, so I needed certification at that time. So and I was also traveling a lot during that time. I engaged with a lot of professors, and I do present in the different seminars. I talked about Ghana. So through that, I meet people. I meet people who also encourage me. I meet people, they are like my mentors. They do direct me. So I really wanted to know more, actually. Yeah, and I think one other thing too was that after my masters, I was looking for job. I had a very good job with the Ghana Space Science. I'm working for the SKA, but it was on contract basis. So I wanted like a permanent job, but unfortunately, after my masters, I was not getting a job opportunity. So I was looking at the future. Then why don't I just continue with my education just to get the requisite skills, and maybe something may come up. Yeah, and that was why I actually pushed to do my PhD to get more knowledge in the field and be a master in the field as well.
That is great to know. And also, physics and astronomy it has to be the most interesting topics like to study. So, like, what do you like about your work life? What motivates you every day to like come back to work?
um I think there's one good thing about physics and astronomy, and it actually opens your mind to a lot of things. Like I said, I had a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions about religion, about creation, about the nature. So, all these questions I needed answers. Are we alone in the universe? So, this kind of curiosities, and you begin to have the right information from the right sources. You begin to do experimentation, which you see things yourself. You can then acknowledge your work, and so like you don't need anyone to convince you because you are doing the work yourself. And these research are very repetitive. So if we come and we tell you that indeed we have almost about 1 billion planets, we are just not saying 1 billion planets. These are planets that have been observed with telescopes. If we are telling you that we have 100 million galaxies out there, we are just not saying it. We are saying this because we've observed this. So all these things, it's quite amazing to learn and get yourself involved. And doing physics and astronomy is it's not just like the science field. The skills that we get is transferable in almost every aspect of the economy. I'm doing big data and machine learning. I'm doing a lot of simulations. I do C++ programming, Python. I couple to do my simulation. I do hydrodynamic simulation. I couple with, all these things. So these are skills that are applicable in almost every field. So getting all these things and waking up to know that I'm learning everything new. And one thing about the space industry and the space science research is that we still don't know a lot of things. There are a lot of things that we still don't know. So we're still open for research. And another good thing is that you get opportunity to travel around the world. You make, friends all over the world. So some of these things do motivate us to get ourselves engaged and wake up with the strength to move on.
Yeah, that is very true. Like you are getting all your answers, like you're getting your answers to the questions that you had, and you were the first person, like one of the few people who was included in the SKA project, and you were also in the top 10, 30 professionals in the African space industry. How did that make you feel? Like accomplished? How did that accomplishment feel? Like made you feel?
Um, I think it's a good feeling. Naturally, if you do a lot of work and you get that kind of recognition and acknowledgement, it has a very good feeling. Yeah, but I think knowing that we have a lot of youth who are involved in the space industry, it tells us that indeed Africa, we have a bright future ahead. If you look at our statistics, almost about 70% of us are youth. So if you have a huge number of the youth who are, pushing towards the space science and they are actively involved, most of them, we have challenges because, most of our African countries, they don't have a national space agencies. Most of them don't also. One of the challenges that we don't have the skilled human resources to handle most of these courses in our universities. So we have to maybe travel outside to seek for such skills. So knowing that some of these people, I mean, we network ourselves, people they're willing to go back and also impart the knowledge. So I mean, it's a great feeling to know some of these things and know that we have a lot of youth who are involved in this field. So I mean, I feel like I'm not alone. I have a great community out there whom we are working as a team. So to get such recognition and being the first part, I mean, being part of the very first team. Um, I mean, I'm working so much to get a lot of people in the field. I mean, if you're working in isolation, it's not good. You need a lot of people to get one strong voice in order to get influence even on the government. So if the government comes and you are the only person, I'm not sure no one will take you serious. But if you have a very huge community, then you want to go back and establish something. You want to start maybe a program in Ghana in BSc in astronomy and or any space science program in Ghana. At least you'll not be alone. You have a lot of colleagues that you can work as a team. You can network. You can do your research together, and that is the great feeling. And the good thing is that we have all the network around Africa, and not only in Africa but around the world. And in the field of astronomy and then space science, they are always happy to help and assist each other. They are happy to engage with you, support, and give you all the requisite skills and knowledge that you need to do all your work. So it's such a great accomplishment and a great feeling as well.
Is the space curriculum, like just in general, aerospace and space curriculum, popular among the school and university students in your country?
Um, Let me say yes and no. Currently, I'm involved in an outreach. I mean, we have a team that we go on an outreach event. So when we engage with the students, you realize that most of them, they do have a little bit of knowledge because within our programs, they do the general science. I mean, they talked about stars, a little bit about the universe, but not that detailed. Of course, even at the tertiary level, if you go to the physics department, they do, I mean, some basics. Like they don't go, I mean, the detail into the space science and astronomy. So yeah, they have a little bit of idea and engagement. You can see the interest is there. They really want to know more. But like I said, the challenge is the human resources for people to people with the needed skills to train people locally, so that we don't need to travel. It's quite expensive, and the advantages that people who, I mean, there's a lot of disadvantage. People who travel, most of them don't come, and I mean, we are having a lot of brain drain also back home again. So if we're able to set up some policies which will help people who come down to Ghana to support the local people, we don't need to travel back. And we don't need to travel to get all this experience. We can have this experience locally, and we can also I mean, prepare our curriculum to suit the needs of Ghana and Africa. Because if I'm being trained outside, of course, they have their own needs and their own policies and I mean their own targets. But if we are local, we have all the skills. We will create our curriculum to fit the needs of Ghana and Africa as a whole. So yeah, we are facing challenges though, but at least the general knowledge people do have and they have the interest by engaging with these young people. So that is, I mean, a good start. And the government is also playing quite a key role, although we still need more from the government. We need them to come on board fully, support research in such areas as well. And of course, by engaging people, immediately they hear about space science and astronomy, they start thinking about rockets going to the moon. But I mean, there is a lot of things in space science, like I just presented. I mean, there are a lot of things. The skills is applicable and transferable in most of the fields that we can think of. Yeah, so we need a government to come on board and help most of the youth.
Yeah, that is true. It is multidisciplinary field, so they need everyone. And how do you feel like space research and development helps Earth in return?
Can you please repeat yourself again?
How do you think space research and development helps Earth,
Helps.
our planet Earth?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think during my presentation, I actually showed you one of the challenges that we are actually, I mean, going through in Ghana, which is illegal mining activities. And of course, we have challenges in security. We have challenges in urbanization. We have challenges in, I mean, handling even data, how the data management system, handling the waste management, our forest reserves, climate change. And all these are challenges that Africa we are going through. I mean, not even Africa, but most of the emerging, I mean, fields in the world. And to know that all the skills and technology in space science and astronomy can be used to cure some of these challenges is quite is quite rewarding. Yeah, so we need to train a lot of people for them to know that indeed space science is not just about going to the moon, going to the International Space Station. It's also about solving our basic challenges in Africa. Yeah, so there is no need for you to send soldiers to the ground. I mean, you can just use space. You are there. You are looking at the Earth, so you can just pick your data with very high accuracy and precision. I mean, and you can just know where the target is. Just go there straight forward. And like I was saying, Africa, we need to also prepare ourselves in terms of security. We need to launch satellites to be able to handle our own telecommunication. Of course, if you are tapping from someone's satellite, I mean, there are a lot of disadvantages and advantages that you can get. Yeah. So if you do all these calculations and you notice that indeed it has a lot of impact on planet Earth, we can use to support life and also help cure most of these basic challenges that we are going through.
Thank you for those answers. They were really helpful. They cleared a lot of doubt. And with this, we are done with the second part of the session. Now we'll be moving on to the rapid fire round. So I'll just be asking you some fun questions. So, like, why do you feel like some people still think that space is science fiction?
Um, I think, I mean, of course, sometimes if you watch most of these movies, and if you know the physics principle like myself, sometimes you laugh because you know that most of these, I mean, it is not applicable. They are just science fiction. Yeah. So but the good thing is that now most of these science fiction they are coming to reality. I mean, initially we were thinking that we can't go there. They were all science fiction, but now people are traveling. I mean, people can send rockets and bring it down again. I mean, initially we thought these were not possible. So these science fictions, indeed, we have science fiction which are there through movies, and we do see them because I mean we can simulate some of these things. We have animations and all this stuff which we can use to, I mean, create all this science fiction. However, this science fiction is actually leading it's bringing a lot of breakthrough in this science because I always believe that imagination is the best thing because once you imagine and you have the passion and the interest, it can become a reality. I mean, for let's assume that in 1901, I mean, or I mean, 17 something or maybe 16 something. No, I mean, no one thought like we will be flying aeroplanes. I mean, no one thought like we could be having the face-to-face communication like this real time that I'll be speaking to you and you can hear. Someone actually imagined these things, and now they are all reality. So we have the science fiction there, which I think it is very good because imagination is the best thing to happen to humanity. That then led us to push forth to make all these things a reality. If you come to the Ghana's radio astronomy observatory, we are using some receivers. If you go to other observatories in Ghana, some people are using some receivers, which if you look at how they can measure temperatures at negative 500 plus. I mean, this is amazing. This is kind of amazing. You can't even think of. So the science fiction is pushing scientists and engineers to their limits. They are coming up with building robots, sending robots into Mars, taking real-time data. All these things were science fiction, but they are coming to reality. And the good thing is that some of these skills they are also applicable in almost every field. I mean, we are scientists, we are astronomers, we observe things at different wavelengths. We observe things in the gamma ray, we observe things in infrared, we observe things in X-ray. And now people can, I mean, once you can go to the hospital, you stand there, they can use X-ray to see your, I mean, internal organs. And if there's a fracture, we can see. All these things are some of the things that we can get from, I mean, science and from this fiction that we initially thought they were all fiction, but now they're all reality. So it's good that people think it's science fiction, but people also think that it's true. Yeah, and this science fiction is bringing the best in humanity as well.
Okay, this brings to my next question. What is your favorite space science fiction movie?
Oh, um, I think, I mean, obviously to be Star Wars, which I mean they have different, I mean different the different ones. And if you watch Star Wars, you realize that most of them are fiction, especially if you know the physics principles and you just sit down, you watch, and you just be laughing. Yeah, so yeah, it's good. It's good, but you also like the kind of imagination and then the content creation aspects that they do come up with, and sometimes too, although they get the physics wrong, but I mean, I mean, we all don't know. So I mean, the thing is, there are a lot of things that we don't know. But so let's not assume that we know almost everything. And that is the good thing about space science and astronomy. We still don't know a lot of things. So there is always discovery ongoing, and that's we still, I mean, want to find out. So people use these things in movies, and I mean that's a good thing. So I mean, space. Star Wars is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think they bring different edition as time goes on, so it's good.
And also, do you believe in extraterrestrial life or intelligence?
That is a good question. Yeah, so I quite remember during one of our outreach in Ethiopia, there was this small guy, and as I think it was Professor James Chubis or something, and the young guy, just like 7 years, and he asked him, um, I mean, where is God? I mean, you are saying God is there, so I mean, where is God? And you know, when it comes to science and religion, a lot of people are so passionate, but I mean, science we talk with facts, yeah, and that doesn't mean
Yeah.
that religion is also about belief system. So I mean, they are all true. I mean, it's a belief system, and this is fact. Maybe the facts we don't even know whether it is fact. Some of them are theories, some of them are. I mean, also all these things are there. But personally, I would say that we are not alone. So I attended this workshop in South Africa, which is the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. I mean, our main aim is to search for extraterrestrial intelligence. We are using different mechanisms. We are either sending signals to them for them to hear, or we're also receiving signals from them. And we also search through a lot of data to see whether they are also signals. How do we look for all those signals? And I will say that if indeed we are alone in the universe, it just doesn't make sense. Because um, if you look within the universe, let me just start with stars. Okay, there are almost about 100 billion stars. Okay, and each star is surrounded by it's surrounded by two or more planets. So you could imagine if we have almost, I mean, billions or trillions of stars, then we have, I mean, extremely more planets out there. Okay, so it just doesn't make sense that we should be alone. There are. I mean, we don't even know the end of the universe. We don't even know where our telescope has its limitation. So there are lots of things that we don't even know. We don't even know whether there are multi-universe. I mean, so there are lots of questions that we still don't know. But personally, it just doesn't make sense if we are alone. And I mean, I don't think we are alone. Maybe they may not look like us, or maybe they may look at us depending on a lot of things. Yeah. So we look ahead. As scientists, we want to research. We still, I mean, there's the unknown, so we are still researching. But I believe that just like in some years back, we're not able to travel to this to moon and then to Mars, but now we are doing it. I believe it's modernization and technology. A time will come that we might even be traveling to some of these planets. And now we are looking for some of these habitable planets. We are looking to find out if they have oxygen there. I mean, there is water there. So yeah, who knows? Yeah, I believe everything is possible. I'm a scientist. Yeah, but I also believe that there is God, of course. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
Christian too.
Okay, so with that, I'll come to this question. Being an astronomer, what part of our solar system like fascinates you the most?
Oh, of course, I'll go in for my solar system, which is the Milky Way. Yeah, but the most interesting aspect is that we have a lot of galaxies out there. We have millions of galaxies. So you could imagine we have millions of galaxies, and within these galaxies we have stars. Within these stars we have planets. We have, I mean, there are a lot of objects in the mind. So if you look in the sky, some of the things that you see, they are, some of them are not stars. Some of them could be galaxies. We have our nearest, the Andromeda galaxies. We have a lot of, I mean, a lot of things are there in the atmosphere. So I'll go in for our own solar system over here, which is, I mean, the Milky Way, which even within our solar system, we still don't know a lot. We are still studying a lot of things about our galaxy. Yeah, but to know that we have other exogalaxies and exoplanets, it's quite amazing, and people are studying this. we are not just talking out of fiction. We've sent telescope to the space and we are studying these things. We have real time. We process this data, and the good thing is that it is repeatable, and that makes. I mean, so these are not just fiction. If you do the same experiments at India, and I also do the same experiment in Lee's year, we are all seeing the same thing. So that should tell you that, I mean, indeed, this is the repeatability of the research gives a thumbs up to us. So I mean that is great, and I'm always going for our solar system. We still need to, I mean, learn a lot and know more, and that is what I'm so passionate. If you leave me, I'll talk and talk and talk and talk. So I'm so much passionate about these things.
With this also, I'd like you to like give one piece of advice to the young people who are passionate about this industry.
Um, I will always say that if you are so passionate to get yourself involved in the space science, be curious, be open-minded, be resilient, get a mentor, be willing to volunteer. I mean, some of these things are things that, I mean, you may work that you may not even get paid. I mean, but once you volunteer, people want to engage you. And with that, you can get all the information that is about space science and astronomy. You get all the network, you make friends. And of course, information is power. So if you don't get yourself engaged, join all the social clubs, the institutions, organizations. Start from your school. If you have a physics club or astronomy club or space science club, just get yourself involved in it. Start from somewhere. Start from somewhere. Get yourself involved in there. Build a network. Get people who are ahead of you. I'm also assisting a lot of people. I still do have mentors there. I'm also looking up to. Of course, Dr. Anama Brown Kluche is someone that I look up to. Dr. James Chiboezi is someone that now is now a professor. Is now that I look up to. My supervisor, Professor Marvin Hall, is someone that I look up to. So get mentors. These people who have already been there before. They will guide you. They will direct you. There are things that people have already done that you don't need to do it again. So they will just help you to overcome some of these challenges. But in all, be resilient and have the passion, and it will take you far.
Definitely, learning from you, we can learn from you that we have to be curious and just to keep studying and just learning new things.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation and for your talk and for your answers. I'm sure the people also who will be viewing this from Ghana or from Africa or from any part of the country will be inspired and be like curious to know more.
Exactly. That's
Thank
the
you
aim.
so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Like from behalf on the behalf of SDNx and Helium Learning Labs to have you. We are very humbled to have you here.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity and the privilege to engage with you and your team. And thanks for putting this seminar together. And we look forward to maybe probably next year. And also thanks to everyone watching us and who joined us virtually.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, so much. We look forward to having you more here, like again.
All right. Thank you too.
With this, I'll be signing off. Thank you.
All right. Thank you too. And bye.
What is it? We have some explanation for that. We have none. Don't worry. Continue your program. Oh boy, it's really something super fantastic here. You couldn't ever imagine this. Roger.